This meeting is being recorded. Hi guys, we're back. How are you, Harry? My brother, another.
Doing good. Hey, I'm hearing a lot of people who do podcasts that use Zoom that they are now hearing that voice. Your video is being recorded. So obviously they've all implemented this probably as a security measure so that everyone knows that they're being recorded.
So nobody can be secretly recorded. Yeah, it just came out of nowhere. I mean, I haven't downloaded a new version of Zoom or anything. It's just like, I remember the first time I heard it, I thought it was you.
Yeah, well, I did download a new version about a week ago.
Okay.
And then didn't you just download a new version?
No, this is what I've always used, but it suddenly just appeared. But it's,
yeah.
I mean, it's obviously a security thing. You're zooming with somebody else and you can't secretly record it, which is good. I think that's good.
Yeah.
So, right, guys, we've got two for you again this week. This one that we're going to do today, and then we're going to do another one on, it'll be your Saturday evening on the West Coast and my Sunday morning here in China. So that will be up, but that's going to go up on BitChute. It won't go up on this one for reasons that will be, it should be obvious when you see it. So first of all, quick bit of housekeeping. As usual, I'll make it nice and quick. VPN, this time I'm going through Vienna. You can go through whichever country you want to go through. We're getting 30% off with these guys. $70 a year they're giving us for 49. And as I always say, what do we get out of it? We get 30% off. Link will be in the description. All right, Harry, so let's get into this week's presentation. As you know, I hijacked your PPT and added another slide at the beginning. This is a photograph that I came across at work yesterday. It was on the PC in my office. It's not kind of my computer, it's just like work computer. And the homepage just happens to be MSN. And I was scrolling through and I came across this 50 pictures of old America. This picture is allegedly from 1880. And I looked at that and I thought, because we're talking about illusions this week. Now, clearly the picture's not an illusion in itself, but everything about it is. I sent this to Robin, because she knows all about horses, and I said, I don't think those two horses could pull that. And she came back and she said, no, they can't, and they're not even the right breed of horses for pulling anyway. So this is supposed to be 1880. You can see that those logs have clearly been sawn. They haven't been chopped down with an axe. How they've been stacked on there is beyond me. And surrounding trees, there aren't any that big. So, I just looked at it and I thought, that is so fake. And there's so much more that we could talk about. But, just look at it. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that in because we are talking of illusions. So, Harry, this is your presentation, my friend. So, please tell me.
So I was inspired by Wayne Steiger. He was doing a presentation on, I don't know exactly the topic he was talking about, but he was talking about illusions, stuff that didn't appear to be real. And so I kind of ran with that. That idea popped in my mind too. And we were already talking about the words that end in ION, whether it's a TION, SION, and that whole idea of the ion and how it is a electrical charge that changes in the atom of anything. So like I said, like I always tell everyone, I'm not here to tell you what to think or what to believe. Just think about what I'm saying and see what type of value it has.
So from the word believe I've thrown that out of my vocabulary. I never use that word anymore. If I do, it's just by error, but I try not to use it.
Same here. I try to never tell people what I believe because it's just got a bad taste. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. So I titled this piece "The Shunning of Ion." And the reason I use the word shunning is because that's the sound it makes. It makes this the word, the sound shun. So we've come to the realization that upon observation, all we see is nothing more than just an illusion. Especially the words that we assign. You know, we know that everything that we have named, we have just assigned a name to it. It doesn't necessarily mean that's what it is, but we put a name to it just to recognize it. So especially words that we've assigned, like for the communication of our thought processes. So what is matter is seen as stuff, but in reality, it's like we talked about a few weeks ago, 99.996% empty space.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had determined that it was something like 0.0026% of the total body mass of a human being is what the spirit's made out of.
Yeah.
Mainly, we're almost completely nothing.
13 grams, at least, eh?
Yeah, 21 grams or something like that.
I thought it was 13, but never mind.
It's close enough. It's within for error purposes. So, illusion. What got me thinking was the discussion of illusion to the fact that we compare like man and the spark. You know, the physical versus the spiritual. So we did talk about that 0.03% also recall that because of extreme lack of sensory perception, all of our senses are so dulled, we can't really see what is really happening. We can't taste, we can't smell, we can't hear because we lack the ability. We don't have that ability to experience with our senses.
Yeah, and even in the first line, I mean, you know, discuss, Eon, discussion.
Yeah.
It turns verbs into nouns. Well, I threw this slide in. Now, this just came to me. The band, the group, whatever you want to call them, they're called Imagination. And this is a song they had a few years ago called Just an Illusion. And you can read the lyrics for yourselves, guys. But I wanted to highlight, never let your feelings get you down. Open up your eyes and look around. It's just an illusion. They've been telling us, and we have not been taking any notice.
Yeah, it's right in our face.
Yeah.
And in many cases, the things they're disclosing, we've heard it called a soft disclosure, because in some cases it's in a cartoon or it's in a comic or a periodical that has been known to be a piece of trash newspaper. No one's going to believe it, but they're telling you, and they have sufficed to give that disclosure, and so they're not outside the bounds of nature. So let's take a look at the word illusion, or is it really saying loose ion? So the word loose in Latin, it can mean a couple of things. It can mean, well, I'm just going to follow this. So let's break it down. Ill, to suffer from a dis-ease, or the connotation of not having, a lack of. So ill at ease, as Nigel says, ill at ease means not comfortable.
It's an old British saying. So guys, if you've been raised in the States or Canada or anywhere else, you're probably not going to be familiar with it. But it's a set phrase. If you do that, you may feel ill at ease. And it just means not comfortable.
Mm-hmm. All right. And so the word lose or loose in Latin, it also means light.
Well, it's the root of Lucifer, isn't it? The word.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it also could be luce, which could mean a battle.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that ion or aeon is an electrically charged atom, or it can also mean an immeasurable amount of time, or in the case of a name, it could be the son of Apollo and Creusa. And I underline the USA there because maybe they're encoding the United States there. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
So, could an illusion be the illness that befalls a man when he looks upon a light? And then, of course, the light that I'm talking about is the false light.
Mm-hmm.
So I would rephrase illusion to be the light you have your eye on is what makes you sick.
Oh, ion. What you have your eye on. I'll keep my eye on that.
Yeah. So, and then did you ever wonder the contraction I will looks exactly like ill?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'll.
So I will, and then the word itself, the aisle, when you go down the grocery store aisle.
Yeah, A-I-E.
And then how about the other word that sounds like aisle, like the shortened version of an island?
Yeah.
The British Isles, right?
Wow.
So there's ways that they're coding this illness and this illusion. So I just wanted to throw those out there too, because I'm just a stickler on words.
Well, yeah.
So illusion or illusion. So we're going to look at all the different ways that ions are defined. So of course, we talked about a little bit about the ion in physics and chemistry, the electrically charged atom or group of atoms formed by a loss or gain. And again, I'm not going to read through the whole thing because we want to make sure we're timely with this video. The second one is the suffix appearing in the words of Latin origin, denoting action or conditions. So like we said, we're going to take words and give actions to them, or we're going to take action words and we're going to turn them into a noun. Eon is the longest division of a geological time. So eon could be like thousands of years. Immeasurability in time is what the connotation of an eon is.
Well, that's usually spelled E-O-N, but it's the same pronunciation as you say.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the name eon or ion would be considered like the classical mythology of Eponymous, the ancestor of the Ionians, and it was a son of the god Apollo, and we talked about Creusa. So this guy was abandoned, and he ends up coming back to be a servant at the Temple of Delphi to Apollo, his own father. So again, there's connections that we make with these Greek gods, which we know they're just manifestations of nature.
Yeah, and you know, these 6-letter words that you've put here, many of these I've never heard of. You know, I mean, I'm a English teacher. I've got a master's degree in English literature, and I've never heard of words like gabion and amnion and fanion, and you know. But action, of course, nation, vision, notion,
legion.
Yeah, they all have their base, the base, act, ion, action. If we look at being, as you say, you know, like a charged particle. But they've been screwing with our language forever. I mean, this is a little game that I like to play with students. I mean, how would you pronounce that, Harry? I mean, you know the answer, but I mean, what would be the obvious?
I mean, obvious for anyone who's trying to just guess this, not knowing how the game is played, you'd go the ghoti, like a goatee on your face.
Well, I'm going to actually show you guys that word can be pronounced fish. Yeah, you heard me right, fish. You have the GH, which is the F sound in words like enough, cough. You have the O, which is pronounced as an I in women, the plural of woman. We say women, so the O becomes an I. And then you have the TI, which is the sh sound, as in nation. So the GH is the F, the O is the I, women, and the TH is the sh. So GH, F, O is the I, and TI is the sh. So there is fish. Now, crazy, but it is what it is. And you know, I love playing word games with my kids. It really fucks them up. It's great fun. But they've been screwing around with English for forever. I mean, you know, even like as I was saying to you before we started recording, we for the most part the English textbooks here in China are American English. And you guys, I mean, not you personally, but you just fucked it all up. You bastardized the whole language. I mean, you changed the S in words like realize to a Z. You removed the U from color and flavor and favorite. You can't even fucking pronounce aluminium. You had to change it to aluminum. What the hell is aluminum? You know, we have a car park. You have a parking lot. You know, you have apartments.
Hey, Nige, how do you pronounce fluoride?
Fluoride.
Okay, so it's the same pronunciation. Because it's spelled fluoride, right? Fluoride. The whole point of this whole exercise was to show that we're just looking at stuff that's not even real.
Yeah.
And then we're naming this stuff, and we really don't even know what we're talking about, because this whole construct that we're in isn't even real. So one of the basic tenets that Wayne was touching on is that we create gods, we create demons and devils, and we create this whole concept of having a life. And in reality, we are creating all of this stuff because none of the above exists.
Yeah. It's all an illusion. The whole thing's an illusion. And the one that we are going to talk about on our next podcast, which will be, as I say, your Tuesday, my Wednesday, so it'll be your Saturday, my Sunday. We're going to tie in some of the previous stuff that we've been talking about, because something jumped out and smacked me in the nose, and I wasn't even looking for it. But before we finish this one, I haven't had a chance to check this yet, but I was listening to Anne-Marie Uber, and she was talking about the word exist. And we know that means, as in, you know, ex-wife, ex-husband, it's finished, it's gone. And she was looking up the word exist in a Sanskrit dictionary. And I wrote this down. She said, to exist in a Sanskrit dictionary means to go down into something, to fall into possession of something, be separated, stroke, deprived from. That's to exist. Mm-hmm. So if we've gone down into something, we've come down into our body, fall into possession of, well, my body, my choice, and be separated, deprived from wherever we came from, right?
Yeah.
But then she looked at the word is. Now, I've not been able to find this, but the definition she gave were no division, an abode of superiority, the ability to hear and see to any distance and to go to any place and to take any form at will. Now think about that. No division, an abode of superiority. That wouldn't mean superior to any other entity, but superior to this realm. To hear and see to any distance, to go to any place, and to take any form at will. Right?
That sounds like omnipotence. That sounds omnipotence. And just to be able to be everywhere at once is to know everything is omniscient, right? and to be anywhere you want to. Those are all characteristics that God gives himself.
Go to any place, not to be in many places at once, but to go to any place, but to hear and see to any distance that you want to. Take any form at will. Now, as I say, I've not gone into it. Anne-Marie's an awesome researcher, but to means to come out of that abode of superiority, to come away from a place where you can see it at any distance, and to stop yourself from being able to go to any place or take any form at will. So when people say, oh yes, this exists, again, the word has been hijacked, stolen, and given a completely opposite meaning. Everything in this realm is opposite anyway. We kind of know that everything's inverted. If anybody listening to us and watching our podcast would know that we talk about it all the time. Everything in this realm has been inverted.
Yeah, and we see that in the Baphomet, right? The as above, so below. They're taking things that are good and turning them into bad, and things that are bad and turning them into good. So it's just all about taking whatever they want and flipping it to suit their purpose.
Absolutely. And for in some ways it doesn't matter. It works. I mean, just for argument's sake, I've got a little fan that sits next to me when it's warm. Now, if that fan is sitting with its base on the table, or if it's hanging from the ceiling, it's inverted, it's still going to do the same job, right? It's still going to, it's still going to cool me down. So in some circumstances, the inversion, I think it doesn't really matter. It doesn't change anything. And I can't think of a particular example in a word, but for the most part, probably 80% of the inversion, it does matter.
We talked about the inversion of the Satan in the past, remember? If you and I are on opposite teams, I am your Satan, but you are mine as well.
And football teams.
And it doesn't mean that one and the other is evil or good. It just means that we're in opposition. That's all it means. And in that case, it doesn't matter which one you are.
No, but in that example, it doesn't matter which team you're on. But in the spiritual battle that we're all in for good and evil, I think it does matter, especially if you look at what's been going on for the last 18 months or so, coming up for 18 months. You wouldn't want to be on that team, would you? Pushing the narrative.
No.
All right, guys. Well, that's where are we? We're pushing half an hour, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So we'll finish this one here, and we'll see you in a few days with another. Oh, this one's going to be a mind blow because it's going to demonstrate what we were saying on the couple of Genesis, the last couple of Genesis decodes that we did. We now have about as much proof as you're going to get that this realm is a copy. It's a hack. It's a hijack. It's a hack. It's a copy of the original. Absolutely no doubt whatsoever. All right, let's finish with bro.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, they're going to tell us this stuff in the most obscure places. They're going to tell us these things in fairy tales, cartoons, movies that are maybe fit for children.
Oh, let me just throw this out, guys. Harry has been on at me for weeks to rewatch The Cabin in the Woods. What year was it, bro? Late 90s, I think.
I can't remember. I think it was, if not early 2000s, maybe 2004 or something like that.
Well, yesterday morning when I got up, we got no power. The whole building was some maintenance. So I got no internet. So I thought, right, before I go to work, I'm going to watch Cabin in the Woods. Watch it with new eyes. Watch it with the eyes that you've got now, and see and compare what they're telling you in that movie compared to what Harry and I have been talking about and to what you see going on right now. Mind blow. And another one comes highly recommended. I've mentioned this several times, is the Adjustment Bureau, which is from 2011. Oh no, Cabin in the Woods was 2011.
It was, yes.
2011, the Adjustment Bureau, 2011. That is a mind blower. I used to speak about that when Karen and I were doing podcasts over on her channel. And the third one is a movie called Passengers. But there's two. You've got to watch the one from 2008. It's the one with Anne Hathaway in it. And again, that is it just emphasizes or shows that what we're talking about, this realm being an illusion. Watch Passengers, 2008 movie. It's not scary, but it's the truth drops that are in those three movies. Cabin in the Woods, The Adjustment Bureau, Matt Damon, and Passengers with Anne Hathaway, 2008, and the other two are from 2011. Promise you guys, you'll thank me if you've, many of you are going to say, "Oh, I've already watched that." You might have watched it, years ago, but watch them again with your new or your fresh eyes, your new pair of glasses, and you will be mind blown. You'll thank me, I promise you.
With that Cabin in the Woods movie, I thought it was just a slasher movie at first, but it has a twist at the end that totally changes the whole feel of them.
Oh boy. I won't give you any spoiler alerts, but I could quite easily give you a couple of spoiler alerts. Watch for the point. Don't say anything, Harry. I don't want to give him a spoiler alert, but watch the point when he tries to jump the canyon on the motorbike. That is, and pay attention towards the end and look for McDonald's. That's a big truth drop.
Yeah, right.
Oh boy. Anyway, enough. No more. All right, guys, enjoy. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you in a few days with the next one. Cheers, guys.